Hey guys, Kripparrian here. Today I'm going to talk to you about what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks and what many of you have been doing for the last couple of weeks, and that's Icecrown hard modes. It's eaten up a lot of my time, but this is the reason I play World of Warcraft for the most part. And for a lot of people, especially most of my friends, it's their reason as well. I'm going to talk to you about how it started, how hard mode started, and, our journey through heroic version of the encounters and how we're doing now, and maybe compare ourselves to other guilds. And I'll sum it up with my opinion on the instance overall. So a couple weeks ago, Lich King win comes out, and you gotta kill Lich King to unlock heroic mode. So we thought Lich King wouldn't be too difficult, honestly. We saw a couple guilds. We saw Blood Legion killed it in 10-man first day, so we didn't think it'd be difficult at all. While it really wasn't, we still had a very aggressive approach. We just tried to really burn a tent so you can get it down as fast as possible. And we did that with 4 different 10-man simultaneously. And a little bit embarrassing, but in the end we ended up not getting Lich King at all in the 10-man. So unlike top, maybe 50 guilds in the world, we weren't one of those that killed Lich King on 10-man. When it came to 25, we took a very easy approach. We had all our good members together, and we got that without too much difficulty. It is a pretty tough fight, but we're not just any guild at the same time. Next week comes along. Got the early Tuesday raid, which ended up being not quite so early because Blizzard says servers come out at 2. They don't come out at 2, then 3, no, 4. They go on to like 6:30 or 7, I don't know. So we're just on vent, chilling out. Servers come up late, and we get kind of a late start. Some people are a little bit bored, but we got a good start regardless. We ended up getting US second kills behind Vodka on almost all the first bosses. Some of the first bosses, though, as you've seen some of my videos, and I've put the comments there, some of those first bosses are the most difficult ones. I mean, Marigar, that's a one-shot, no problem. But Death Whisper, we spent like 6 hours on Death Whisper. There's so much opportunity for your raid to wipe. Those little ghosts that come on normal, on heroic, those ghosts, when they hit someone, they're gonna kill at least like 5 people. The damage that they do and the radius is greatly increased. So outside that, there's a lot of other stuff in the fight, but generally that's a pretty tough fight, and we were pretty glad to see that we got second kill. We'd hoped for first, but that kind of held us back a little bit. After Death Whisper, you go to a gunship and you do it as one of our guildies called it, eye level 277 mode. The only difference on gunship is that you get better loot if you set it to heroic. That's pretty much it. You do Saurfang after, so see, Saurfang's a pretty tough boss. I mean, if you looked on how timely particular guilds have killed this boss, some guilds have taken days. High profile guilds, even in Cydia, they took I think it was like 10 to 12 hours, something like that. And they may tell you they were taking a break, but I can tell you there's no top guild taking breaks on like the first hours of content. That's just not happening. It's a pretty tough boss. We ended up brute forcing it. A couple weeks later, we ended up working out some better strategies so we can kill it in a couple attempts now. But that first week, we were brute forcing that boss, just like most other guilds, and we're good enough to get it down. We killed it with like 7 or 8 marks in the end, which is, if you've done the encounter, you'd know how absurd that is. After Saurfang, it was getting pretty late, and we just decided to knock out Dreamwalker, which is pretty fun. We just had all our alts, and not all our alts, but some of our alts, and a lot of our off specs go healing, and we just power healed that guy down in a couple minutes. We didn't really do the fight how you're supposed to, I don't think. After that, I went to sleep, got up, and by this time the Euros, they're knocking down this content with us. Paragon beat us to Blood Queen. We did Blood Queen. We just didn't get there as fast as they did, I guess. We two-shotted Blood Queen, 1% wipe first attempt. kill on second attempt. Pretty easy fight, pretty boring to watch. Didn't upload the video because of that. Soon after that, you know, Paragon, they're pretty amazing guild in this instance. They got Synergosa down very soon after. We got Synergosa down as well behind them, but we were held back by a lot of errors that our members made on this particular encounter. It cost us quite a bit of attempts, and at the same time, you have to remember, along with Synergosa, this accounts for all the bosses. We don't have like good alts, so unlike these top guilds, we can't practice these fights at all. And we didn't even have 10 man, so when these guilds, they already know the abilities, they already know a lot of the tuning, they know the timers. All this information that they have, we have to use up our attempts to figure out. So we were at a massive disadvantage, and despite the massive disadvantage, you know, in the end we ended up getting US first Blood Queen, US first Synergosa, and well, I may not count for too much, US first Putricide. Right, so on to Putricide. This is a pretty heavy boss. First week we got it to 10%, and by the time we got it to 10%, we kind of understood most aspects of the fight. But the problem was that we ran out of attempts. So, you know, next Tuesday we got up early. You know, first hour when the servers are up, and we tried to knock out Putricide, try to get the world second, US first, and we had many 1%, 2%, 3% wipes that day. We ended up not getting it that week at all. On one of the attempts, the one you can see here, we actually got Putricide to 1% twice on the same attempt with 24 people in the raid. One of the DPS DC'd during phase 1. So, you know, that was pretty crushing. Really felt we should have got it, but you know, that's how it is sometimes. The third week we came back in there and we just walked over Putricide. It was one shot like it was nothing. I felt like they nerfed the boss, but I mean, we took a look over it afterward and we couldn't figure out what happened. So we were pretty pleased. We got Putricide down. All we had to do at that point was kill the other two N-Wing bosses, and you know, we're on to Heroic Lich King along with Paragon. That week, this is earlier this week in fact, we had a little complication. We actually lost an attempt on Blood Queen because our rep paladin at the time decided it was a good idea to try to do a Shadowmourne quest without telling anybody. So this caused him to die while being bit first, and we wiped. And you know, a couple days later, resulting from that, we ended up removing him from the guild, and he was so unhappy that he decided to ruin our attempts, whatever was left for Lich King. It was very fortunate for us that we actually had a very friendly GM, and the GM restored our attempts. So we headed right in there to do Heroic Lich King. We got to phase 2. You're probably thinking like, wow, like in phase 1 is the easiest thing ever. Phase 2, that sounds like a joke. I can almost guarantee you, there's almost no guild in the US besides ours that probably got to phase 2 on 25-man Heroic. It's the first week that became available to the US. This is the most difficult encounter we have ever seen. The guild that gets the first kill in this encounter is gonna earn every bit of credit that people will give them. It's gonna be kind of like that Yogg 0 thing. The instance, in my opinion, is pretty much done. Heroic Lich King is kind of a thing on its own. The race is kind of over. People are definitely going to treat it seriously, just like they did Yogg 0. But I mean, I don't see this boss being killed anytime soon. I mean, having limited attempts on a boss like this is, you know, pretty absurd. Even if Lich King Heroic didn't have any limited attempts, like the way Blizzard set it up, still no one would have killed it, and probably no one would have killed it for a long time. Overall, Icecrown, pretty fun instance. I think I had a pretty nice, 2 weeks or so. My favorite instance so far this expansion has been Ulduar. Ulduar had a lot more progression. In Ulduar you don't just pull a boss on Heroic and you kill it. I mean, you did on some of them, but not quite as much as Icecrown. Content did get a little bit easier, but maybe it's a fluctuation. So I hope it goes well. I hope you do well in Lich King for the future, and I hope you guys enjoy my videos. I want to thank you guys for watching.